Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Johnny, why did you do it? F*** you, Johnny, you f***ing stupid fake.
Hello and welcome to WrestleTalk. I'm Ollie Davis, and in case you missed it, here's what happened at last night's NXT TakeOver Portland. The biggest news coming out the show is that Tommaso Ciampa lost to Adam Cole in the main event title match for the NXT Championship. Adam Cole's one, of course, not Rhea Ripley's, whatever the naming thing is now. And it happened because of a Johnny Gargano heel turn. Tommaso Ciampa actually had a few visual pins on Adam Cole. Undisputed Era ran down, there was a ref bump, a low blow, but Ciampa kept coming back and he had Cole beat. He was gonna get the NXT title, his beloved Goldie, to use on Cole to win the match presumably, but Johnny Gargano appeared from out of nowhere at ringside and held onto the title belt, took it out the ring and clocked Ciampa over the head with it, letting Cole get the pin, meaning Gargano has fully turned heel. This is off the back of an absolutely tremendous match between Balor and Gargano earlier in the night, which Gargano actually lost. So in 2020, about 4 years after this feud started, we're getting Gargano versus Ciampa again. Some might say that's repetitive. Some might say they've done this to death already. Me, I'm stupidly excited, and I think there's enough there to actually freshen it up from previous iterations of this feud. This is the first time in these 4 years that we've had Ciampa in the fully face role and Gargano as a fully fledged heel. Now just please, nobody get injured. That's what keeps on derailing this feud, and by God, NXT is gonna finish it, regardless of main roster call-ups, or neck injuries, or changing plans or whatever. One of the big predictions going into the pay-per-view, mainly done by El Fakador Laurie Blake, is that Undisputed Era would lose all their gold. And they actually started off that way, with the Broserweights winning the NXT Tag Titles from Bobby Fish and Carla O'Reilly. It was a fantastic match, only slightly marred by Matt Riddle trying to get "How much fish can Bobby Fish fry fish" chant going at the start of the match, complete with a little sing-along lyric thing at the bottom of the screen. It was very main rostery, in a bad way. But a great match, really good reversals, and no one actually sells a German suplex anymore. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair had a great match for the NXT Women's title, or NXT title, I don't know what the gender ambiguous term for it is now, but everyone kind of knew what the outcome was going to be because Ripley is setting up a feud with Charlotte Flair for WrestleMania. And that's exactly what happened. Ripley retained in a pretty decent short match, I really enjoyed it, but Charlotte attacked her as soon as the bell had rang and got a microphone in her giant heels, towering over everybody on the planet, and just said to Rhea Ripley, "I've been thinking about it, I'll see you at WrestleMania." So Charlotte has officially cashed in her Royal Rumble win to face NXT champion Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 36. The other women's match on the show was a street fight between Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai, a really intense blood feud that had a lot of hardcore spots in it early on, including a really awkward looking table bump from Tegan Nox onto a table which didn't break, she just bounced off it. But interestingly, the finish had Dakota Kai win because of an interference from a, I guess, debuting star. She's Raquel Gonzalez, which you might not know the name of because she didn't have that name until 3 days ago. It's actually Reina Gonzalez, who has competed in WWE before. She lost in both Mae Young Classic tournaments, but in the first round, so she hasn't really made a name for herself at all, but she's been repackaged and it seems she'll be Dakota Kai's enforcer going forward because she's too small to be threatening by herself. Kai kind of sold Gonzalez's help at the end of the match to help her win as surprise and sort of confusion, so maybe she didn't plan this in advance, but we'll see what happens on NXT TV going forward. And the opening match, which as great as Cole versus Ciampa was, and that probably was the best match of the night for my money, you've got to go and see Keith Lee versus Dominic Dijakovic. It was just two big guys, big hosses, beef slabs, hitting each other over and over again, and then doing athletic high flying and hurricanranas and sentons over the top rope and frickin' top rope Spanish flies for 20 minutes. Keith Lee won this latest installment in just an epic feud between the two men, and they hugged afterwards, and Keith Lee helped Dijakovic celebrate on the top of the turnbuckle. It was just so much fun, And for what these two guys can do, it was such a good showcase of their talents. And within all those matches, NXT made the announcement that we're going to get a new NXT UK takeover in Dublin. The first one outside of the, that bit of the UK. It's sort of, we don't own it as far as I understand. I don't know what's going to go on with Brexit. And that's going to happen on August the 26th. If you enjoyed this video, it would really help us out if you press the thumbs up button, give us a subscribe, and leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on NXT TakeOver Portland, and I'll be replying to as many of them as I can as this day goes on. And of course, also go and watch Adam Blompier's list video, the 10 greatest WrestleMania builds in WWE history. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.